Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the December 9th, 2019 County Commission meeting. I'm going to ask Sheriff John Fuson to call our meeting to order. If you would, please remain standing for the pledge and the invocation.
All rise. Oh yes, this Honorable Board of County Commissioners is now in session pursuant to adjournment. Now may God save this state and this Honorable Board of County Commissioners.
It's my honor to introduce to you the Kenwood High School JROTC, Commissioner Walker Woodruff. Thank you for having them here tonight. So if y'all would come forward and lead us in our pledge, please. Commissioner Joe Creek will now lead us in our invocation.
Let us pray. It says in the Bible in Luke 2:8-16, and they were in the same country, shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over the flock by night. And lo, an angel from the Lord came unto them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news and great joy to all people. For unto you this day is born in the city of David a stranger. His name is Jesus the Lord. Now, and this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill towards men. And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away and into the heavens, the shepherds said one to another, Let us go now even into the Bethlehem, and see this thing which has come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us. And they came with haste, and found Mary and Joseph, and the baby lying in a manger. Lord, let us never forget the true meaning of Christmas. We thank you for those that are sharing love and gifts during this season. Be with those that are separated from families, whether it be in military or whatever the reason might be. Just guide, watch over, give them comfort, let them show their love to one another. We pray for our commission now as we meet tonight. Guide and direct us on our decisions. Let us respect one another as we cast our votes. For it's in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Again, a special thanks to the Kenwood High School JROTC for leading us in our pledge tonight. Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the roll?
You have 21 present, 0 absent.
Thank you, ma'am. Our first item of business is approval of our November 12th, 2019 minutes. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Gannon, second. Commissioner Beal. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Our zoning tonight is CZ 18, 2019, application of William Kupski from E1 to AG. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Lewis, second Commissioner Riccone. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Next on our agenda are our resolutions. Our first resolution is 1912-1, resolution to accept federal grant funds from the Bureau of Justice Assistance State Criminal Alien Assistance Program. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Pritchard, second Commissioner Rasnick. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Resolution 1912-2, resolution to amend the budget to accept joint grant funds from the Bureau of Justice Assistance of the United States Department of Justice. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Ray, second Commissioner Joe Smith. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. 1912-3, resolution to adopt an interlocal agreement between the City of Clarksville and Montgomery County for joint funding from the Bureau of Justice Assistance of the United States Department of Justice on a joint award of federal burn justice assistant grant funds. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Lewis, second Commissioner Tangi Smith. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution 1912-4, resolution adopting the policy of disabled veteran leave entitlement. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Woodruff, is there a second? Commissioner Chandler, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
1912-5, resolution permitting a nonprofit agency to place engraved brick pavers in a designated location at the Montgomery County Historic Courthouse. Is there a motion for approval? Mr. Creek, second. Commissioner Keene, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you. Resolution 1912-6, resolution amending the budget of the Montgomery County Engineering Department for additional architect and/or engineers. A motion for approval, Commissioner Albert, second Commissioner Knight. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
1912-7, resolution amending the budget of the Montgomery County Archives Department for additional equipment and staffing using archives reserve funds. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Bryant, second Commissioner Joe Smith. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Resolution 1912-8, resolution to amend the budgets of various funds for fiscal year 2020 in certain areas of revenues and expenses. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Gannon, second. Commissioner Riccone, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you. 1912-9, resolution by Montgomery County, Tennessee Commission ratifying the Clarksville-Montgomery County 2040 Growth Plan and forwarding it to the Tennessee Local Government Planning Advisory Committee for consideration. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Creek, second. Commissioner Knight, any discussion? Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I spoke with our Director of Planning, Mr. Tyndall, today, and I can't say that he was thrilled with the idea, but I did get him to agree to it, that we feel that there are some conversations still left to be had. So with that, I would move that we defer this resolution until January 13th, 2020.
Is there a second? Commissioner Harper? Okay, we have a motion to defer 1912-9 until January the 13th. That would be our next formal meeting. Any discussion on the motion to amend? Commissioner Joe Smith.
I would ask you to not do this just because I'd seen the time and dedication that Mr. Tyndall and his staff had and the community that was involved in this. And if you had questions or concerns, you should have probably came to those meetings because they were posted. Just my opinion.
Any other discussion on the motion to defer? I have a question to Mr. Tyndall. Mr. Tyndall, what does this do to your timing? Anything? I think that should be addressed to the whole commission.
Sure. According to state law, once the Growth Coordinating Committee approves it, which was October 26th, there's 120 days by the city and the county to act. As you know, the city's already approved it. We're just shy of 60 days into this, so we have until about February 26th or so to have a motion through here. The bigger picture is the Local Government Planning Assistant Advisory Council, the LGPAC, meets in January. If we don't get on their agenda in January, it'll be April before they approve this. So that's sort of the
do you know
bigger
when they meet in January?
It'll be the third or fourth Thursday. So
Okay.
I haven't talked to the coordinator today about that, but if this does get deferred, I'll let him know to kind of keep their agenda open in January for this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And Commissioner Johnson, I just have a question. I respect your motion to defer, but do we have a process for us to answer additional questions, or make his mic hot, please? I'm just not sure of the process, Jeff. Is that
Sure.
really the only thing I'm asking?
And as I spoke to Commissioner Johnson today about this, is the growth plan is unique. Unlike any other document that the commission gets, it cannot be amended from the floor. It would have to be rejected back to the advisory committee, have them with a specific task of updating it for a certain reason or multiple reasons, with the overall and overarching opinion that they acted arbitrarily. Again, it takes that negative 2/3 vote to do that. Once the committee gets that directive and they hold another hearing and send it back to the city and the county, then there's another 120-day clock. If it fails for a second time, then we go to arbitration with the AG, but that's where we are right now.
Okay.
I know the county attorney and I have talked about this process.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted everybody to be aware. Sorry about that, Commissioner Johnson. So any more discussion on the motion to defer? If you would, please register your vote. So this will be deferred until January 13th. All right. 19-12-10 is a resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners appropriating funds for the construction of a 12-classroom addition at Rossview Elementary School. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Knight, second Commissioner Rasnick. Any discussion? Commissioner Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. Over the weekend, there was an article in the Leaf Chronicle, why rezoning is not coming, but more portables are for Montgomery County schools. And there was a quote in there that caught me by Mr. Summerall, and I will read it. Summerall said, parents are overwhelmingly told the school system they prefer portables over rezoning. People don't want to be rezoned. They live in the house they that they live in because they want their children to go to school that house is zoned to, said Sumrall. They look at rezoning every year, but for the last couple of years, our philosophy has been that we will do a major rezoning for the entire school district whenever we open up our new school. So what I want to point there is that they've been documented and say that they're going to an entire district rezoning when we open the new middle school, which we're looking at down on Rossview Road. I would contend that the people don't want to have their taxes raised as well. I think if the people had a choice between rezoning and raising taxes, I think they would take the rezoning, but we never asked that question to go into that far, which I would love to see Jimmy Settle and Leaf Chronicle kind of come up with a question like that if they were possible. If we were to rezone, that would eliminate or possibly postpone the construction of a new school in years past or years in the future. We are stewards of the taxpayers' money, and we must look at rezoning as an alternative to building as well as new schools. Based on Mr. Summerall's comments, when the school system comes to fund the middle school construction, I would ask that their verbiage be in the resolution stating that there will be a district-wide rezoning when the school is completed and the doors are open, as it's said in this article. Thank you.
Any other discussion on 1912-10? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution 1912-11, resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners appropriating funds for New Providence Elementary School. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Bryant, second. Commissioner Albert. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution 1912-12, resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners appropriating funds for the purchase of Emmanuel Family Life Center for Clarksville Montgomery County School System Language Immersion Program. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Pritchard, second. Commissioner Albert. Any discussion? Commissioner Gannon.
Yes, sir, Mayor. I would like to amend this resolution, or actually I don't want to amend this resolution. I would like to make a motion that we postpone this till January 13th as well as the other one. I think with the contention that we get an appraisal, a building inspection, and a survey of said property to make sure that the building is sound and all intact before we vote on this. So I would like to make a motion that we postpone it till January 13th to vote on this. With the contention that...
To defer it.
To defer it, yes, sir. With the contention that we have to get an appraisal, an inspection, and a survey of said property.
Do you have that, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second? Commissioner Butts, any discussion? Commissioner Knight?
I was just
on the motion to defer.
Not on the motion to defer. I was just going to make the statement about the school.
I know.
I got
That's
you.
what we're talking about now. It's the motion to defer. I'm sorry. He beat you to it.
Yeah, he did.
Any discussion on the motion to defer? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Resolution 1912-13, resolution of Montgomery County Board of Commissioners appropriating funds for design fees for 12 classroom addition to West Creek Elementary School. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Knight, second. Commissioner Leverett, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you. Resolution 1912-14, resolution of Montgomery County Board of Commissioners appropriating funds for design fees for a 12 classroom addition to Oakland Elementary School. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Joe Smith, second. Commissioner Charlie Keene. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution 1912-15, resolution to request court to rescind its prior order on the sale of certain real estate property at the 2019 Montgomery County tax sale. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Johnson, second. Commissioner Gannon, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution 1912-16, resolution to provide funding to Austin Peay State University Foundation. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Riccone, second. Commissioner Albert, any discussion? Commissioner Riccone.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to speak to this last meeting, but did not have this data I was looking for, so I wanted to address it some today. And for those who aren't aware, the way this program worked, when Austin Peay made the FCS playoffs, the teams submit a bid to the NCAA. And once the opponent is selected, they open the bids. And the team that bids the most gets the game. And Austin Peay, reaching out to the Austin Peay Foundation, wanted to bring the community together. I think they saw what a home playoff game could do for our community and for our local economy. And so Austin Peay, through the foundation, reached out to the county, to the city, to Aspire, and to private individuals to donate money. And through the foundation, it was important because it's a tax write-off for an individual to do it. It doesn't help the county any. But I know the county and the city, Aspire, and many people were asked to donate and support this. It was truly a community event. Austin Peay had a high and successful bid. I know the county said, or is trying to donate or give back to the foundation $30,000 to support that bid. Since then, I want to thank Kimberly Wiggins' office. They were tremendous. Teresa Harrington at CBB was absolutely phenomenal, and Austin Peay Athletic Department was phenomenal. Just for that game, and we know it was rainy. We had 80 nights of rooms for the teams. We had 15 rooms for NCAA and the refs, the staff. We had the entire ESPN broadcast crew and team. We had 500 visiting firm and fans. I sat with Kimberly Wiggins' office trying to generate what's the economic impact for this and was having a hard time. Teresa informed me that there is a state mandated multiplier, and you give them a number and they can spit that out. So in a couple clicks, just keying in those numbers, we have an economic impact of $357,552 spent, direct impact to our economy by us having that game here. That does not include the advertising of every time Clarksville or Montgomery County was mentioned on TV, when anybody saw it on social media. Austin Peay uses a meltwater system. I had to Google that, didn't know what it was, but it's a media and analytics system, which generated $38.4 million in advertising was the number it put on it with just seeing the name. Now, I know seeing the name Austin Peay doesn't automatically mean Clarksville, Montgomery County, but when they say Austin Peay, they talk about where it is. In addition to that, there's a multiplier that gets you into crazy numbers, into like billions, based upon how that impacts people and how you could get a student to come to Austin Peay based upon this media impact. So I'm asking you to support this. I believe this was money well spent to support our community. Every time we support Austin Peay, it gives back tenfold through increased student population. And students are our biggest economic driver. They don't cost anything for us. They pay to come to this community, and they spend money in our community. So I'd ask that you support this.
Thank you. Commissioner Leverett.
Thank you, Mayor. On December 14th, 2019, Resolution 1910-4 failed by this body. That resolution was to award funds to a nonprofit tax-exempt organization to help our community. A week later, on October 29, 2019, we had a storm. this community experienced a terrible storm here in Montgomery County. Our citizens lost their homes, power, food, vehicles, and their sense of security. On that day, several tax-exempt, nonprofit organizations stepped up to help our community, specifically naming Manna Cafe. I wasn't able to quickly get the numbers of the amount of food that Manna Cafe distributed to our Montgomery County citizens to replenish what they lost, but I know it was an amount that they could definitely use to replenish. This storm demonstrated to those of us in Montgomery County the prime example why tax-exempt organizations are important to our community. Just as Commissioner Riccone just stated, the Austin Peay Foundation is also important. Austin Peay provides morale and pride of city here in Montgomery County. Our nonprofit organizations also offer physical and dignity back to our citizens and restores them when they're hungry and when they need shelter. I'm asking for an amendment to Resolution 1912-16 to state, resolution to provide funding in the amount of $30,000 to Austin Peay State Foundation, a tax-exempt organization, and to provide funding in the amount of $30,000 to the United Way of Greater Clarksville Region, a tax-exempt organization. I'm asking for this resolution so that our Montgomery County commissioners can understand that tax-exempt nonprofit organizations, whatever capacity that they work in, help the community, whether it's feeding the hungry, sheltering the homeless, or giving us team spirit and esprit de corps in our NCAA games. So I'm asking my fellow commissioners to please vote on this amendment, not either or, but and both. We are proud of Austin Peay. I am proud of Austin Peay, and I do want this amendment to go forward. But I am asking that when we look at tax-exempt nonprofit organizations, that we support the various entities that help our community. Manna Cafe gave a quick response to helping our citizens when we had a storm. And I'm just asking for and both, not either or. So I'm asking my commissioners to please support the amendment and to please support the resolution 1912-16. Thank you.
Is there a second? Commissioner Woodruff, any discussion on the amendment? Commissioner Beal.
Thank you, Mayor. With all due respect to the two previous speakers, it is not the responsibility of Montgomery County taxpayers to subsidize nonprofits. That is the responsibility of charitable individuals like myself to do that. So I'm going to ask my fellow commissioners to vote the amendment down and the main motion down as well. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the amendment? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 12 yeses, 9 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. We're now voting on 1912-16 as amended. I have a question for Mr. Harvey. The amendment said both Austin Peay and the United Way. Do we still need to vote on the resolution, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, okay, that's good enough. Thank you. Now we're voting on 1912-16 as amended, a resolution to provide funding to Austin Peay State University Foundation. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 13 yeses, 8 noes, and 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution 19-1217, resolution amending budget of Montgomery County government to provide funding in amount not to exceed $21,100 to the Clarksville Economic Development Council for the purpose of a community advertising campaign. And this was on our agenda Monday night. We voted to suspend the rules to add it. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner? Oh, we have to have a motion to suspend the rules again. Commissioner Harper, second. Commissioner Gannon? Do we have to vote on that technically?
No, not if you say it's unanimous.
It appears to be unanimous that we'll hear it. Thank you. Now, voting on 19-1217 as read. I won't reread it. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Harper, second. Commissioner Albert, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 18 yeses, 3 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Under unfinished business, Resolution 19-11-2, resolution to request return and conveyance of surplus property from the Clarksville Montgomery County School System to Montgomery County. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Harper, second. Commissioner Gannon, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 19 yeses, 2 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Our county clerk's report. Ms. Jackson, would you read your report, please?
Comes Kelly A. Jackson, County Clerk, Montgomery County, Tennessee, and presents the County Clerk's report for the month of November 2019. I hereby request that the persons named on the list of new applicants to the office of Notary Public be elected. The oaths of the deputy county officials and sheriff's deputies are approved as taken. This report shall be spread upon the minutes of the Board of County Commissioners. You received your list last week for the notary applicants. You do not have any that are signed by personal surety, and you do not have any names that need to be read into the minutes for bond purposes.
Is there a motion to approve the clerk's report? Commissioner Beal, second. Commissioner Johnson, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Commissioners, you'll see your new reports filed that are in bold on your agenda. I would make note of the 2019 County Courtroom Security Report. That's an item that needs to be reported to this body and reported back to the state. Now to the nominating committee nominations. Commissioner Gannon, Chairman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. The audit committee met last week, and we would like to enter the following nominations into a motion. The audit committee, which is a 2-year term, Commissioner Joe Smith has been filling the unexpired term of Audrey Tooley and is eligible to be reappointed for a 2-year term to expire December of 2021. Commissioner Lisa Pritchard has been filling the unexpired term of Monroe Gildersleeve and is eligible for reappointment for a 2-year term to expire December 2021. Commissioner Chris Rasnick is nominated to replace Commissioner Arnold Hodges for a 2-year term to expire December 2020. Commissioner Joe Creek is nominated to replace Commissioner David Harper for a 2-year term to expire December 2021. John Gannon is nominated to replace Commissioner Brandon Butts for a 2-year term to expire December of 2021. The Health and Education and Housing Facility Board, Leo Milan is nominated to fill the unexpired term of James Corlew to expire June of 2023. I enter those in as a motion.
Is there a second? Commissioner Ray, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 18 yeses, 0 noes, 3 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Without objection, I'll read the county mayor nominations and the county mayor appointments. Both of them require approval by the commission. Seeing no objection, the Regional Planning Commission, Tom Spigner, nominated to replace Russell Atkins for a 4-year term to expire December 31st, 2023. Public Building Authority, Rex Hawkins, nominated to replace Bobby Powers for a 6-year term to expire December 2025, and Jay Albertia, nominated to replace Steve Kimmer for a 6-year term to expire December 2025. Community Corrections, Brian Reeves, Probation Officer, nominated to fill the unexpired term of Debbie Vance with a term to expire November 2021. Ryan Domney, Parole Officer, nominated to fill the unexpired term of Ann Kroger with term to expire November 2022. And Alicia Sharpton, Nonprofit, Robertson County, nominated to fill the unexpired term of Michael Williams with the term to expire November 2021. And under County Mayor appointments, Frank Lott, appointed to fill the unexpired term of Melissa Miller with a term to expire April of 2023. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Ray, second. Commissioner Lewis, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioners, just a couple of announcements. If you'd like to attend the Mayor's Power Breakfast on January the 14th at 7:30 a.m., it's going to be held at the Wilma Rudolph Event Center. Please let Shelley Baggett know so she can add you to the list of attendees. That thing sells out pretty quick, so I would say if you want to go, it's at a bigger venue. The tickets may be more readily available, but if you'd like to go, please let Shelley know. In case you didn't notice it, on your desk, there's a white box. Okay, thank you. That's a gift to the county commissioners, so I want to wish each of you a very Merry Christmas, and just thank you for all the work you've done. Also, Kyle just handed me a note. Montgomery County met our mentor goal for Tennessee Achieves, which is awesome. So for those of you in the audience and commissioners who signed up to do that, and commissioners, just thank you for the next time we meet, it'll be 2020. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and God bless you. I'll call on the sheriff to adjourn us.
All right. Yes, this Honorable Board of County Commissioners now stands adjourned. Now may God save this state and this Honorable Board of County Commissioners.